But yeah, KT up against the wall here. Could move down into that solid 7th place if they lose this one. Or they can tie it up and put both teams on 12 as they tied 6th and 7th place.
I'd say it'd be much better off as we get a close look at the studio where they're at and the trophy there. Wonderful. As the RPG banner is blowing in the wind there.
Yeah, studio, for those who don't know, is in a shopping mall. Sitting over currently, I believe, in Shenzhen. I might be wrong about the location. But either way, it is in a shopping mall, so the players come down and people can come down, get their shopping, grab a snack in the mall, and then move in, watch some Heroes of the Storm.
I'm on my way.
I want to go there. I want to go there one day. Right now, though, everyone's currently getting super excited. Right after BlizzCon, we've got the Gold Club World Championship to look forward. That'll be back in the Water Cube as it was last year. We're going to be seeing a Towers of Doom game, and this is a slightly bet. So KT go from a map where they both have really good win rates to a map where they both have shocking win rates.
1 in 10 combined. Seems good.
Exactly. Well, someone has to win. RPG's either going to mirror the score again, or KT are going to get a slightly less terrible win rate. Alrighty, but yeah, for those who are wondering, Gold Club World Championship is making a comeback. We're all excited for it. Very little information is known other than this time it will also have Hearthstone, so hooray.
I believe they have voting on that. I think I saw a tweet or something recently voting on that.
Voting on what? For
the Gold Club. For invitations.
Yeah, but voting for what? Oh, for who gets invited?
Yeah, for invitations. I saw a tweet or something. It was about invitations.
Was that for the Hearthstone side or the Heroes side?
Heroes.
Oh, I need to find this.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw a tweet. It was something about voting for invitations.
If someone can find that tweet and tweet it at me so that I can find it in a bit, that'd be super cool. So we're starting off with the bans, though, in this pick ban phase, and it's going to be, once again, that Respect Stitches ban against Butcher getting removed, and KT banning out the Valor from Loktar.
You know, we see this, and instantly my two thoughts are Genji and Tassadar. And both of them do really well at interrupting channels. Tassadar works in a lot of compositions. We saw stellar Genji play last game. So I feel like those heroes have to be under high consideration right now. So does Dahaka. I don't know where he fits, especially after the play from that last game. But they're taking every bit of time they can for this first pick.
Ariel, gonna be that first pick. Pretty solid. That's very reasonable of them. It opens them up to Lunara, to Greymane, not Valak, she's gone. They could even Gul'dan again. Really good poke damage for these altars.
Yeah, would be a really good pairing there. KT got to decide on what they want now. Again, you know, we saw Dahaka. I think he struggled, and that was one where it really emphasizes the solo lane. This one, the solo lane is there, but it comes down more about map control, getting around the altars, things like that. So I think Dahaka would be a much safer pick if they opt to go Dahaka later, or excuse me, Malthel later, but taking away some batteries and getting the Tassadar.
So there is the possibility of them going, KT going single tank and just sneaking a Chromie in as their last pick. If RPG doesn't pick some good counters to that Chromie, because Ariel, as we all know, very weak against Chromie.
Would that make you too squishy, though? It would if they get a Genji here.
If they get a Genji here, but KT could go double support. Well, they have to go double support. Tass and someone like an Uther maybe Rhaegar for themselves, and then a really good frontlining tank like ETC. Someone who can peel quite well.
They're definitely spending a lot of time on this draft.
Yeah. RPG can also go for Chromie. They have been known to run it before. Infinity is a really proficient Chromie player. Or Li Ming even. Let's see what they do go for here. Like you said, they've run down the timer. It's going to be the Wang ETC and the Loktar Greymane.
Solid draft. It gives you flexibility going into the last part. They're afraid of the double support with the Lucio with this composition.
The Lucio is is pretty good against Malthael. This kind of leads into a potential Malthael pick, which means there's a good chance we will see a RPG banning it out, seeing as it's being very highly telegraphed by KT.
I'll say they've got the AoE heals from Ariel, so long as you can keep that up. Obviously, Lucio with the persistent heals does do well against Lunara as well, especially in the double support composition. So, again, I think the Malthael pick, I think you nailed it in terms of what to expect there, and we saw a really good Malthael play in the game before. However, that was on the other side. So I wonder if that's something they're considering for themselves.
Yeah, looks like they're going to hover Arthur, so maybe they plan on putting Chicken on something else, not the Malthael here, or they don't have an issue with Malthael being picked against them. Like in theory, it could be say Chicken on the ETC, and then Wang picks up a Tyrael later or something. But right now, a Tyrael Malthael pickup for KT would be really solid as long as they like kept their last pick as an Uther or something like that, so they had some CC. But if that's the case, then RPG could pick it. It's an interesting situation KT have found themselves in.
I think the thing that scares me about Malthael Lunara sometimes is you can expect probably a double support comp on the side of RPG. Double dot damage against double support tends to have trouble committing, like getting the takedowns, getting the kills that you need. And so depending on who that second support is, might be a little bit problematic. So I'm not opposed. They still go with it. And they get the Rhaegar there. So.
And they do go with Rhaegar, so they've left their tank open here, so it's unlikely it's going to be a Tyrael because they are very short on crowd control, but they have lots of slows to combine with that Lunara, and they have the anti-healing. So even if it is a second support, which right now is sort of being forced into a Malfurion due to the fact that Uther isn't going to be able to keep up with the healing numbers, like it's Malfurion or Stukov at this point, it's because they need the AoE healing to keep up with the Lunara, because Uther's going to die if they go for that. The only benefit Uther will have is Divine Shield for Greymane, and they hope to blow up those percentage damage dealers and that poison before they get too much value. And of course the Holy Cow.
Holy Cow and the Holy Dive.
And the Holy Dive. They got the Tyrael. So this is very likely going to be Chicken on the ETC, Wang on the Tyrael. So they have that Sanctification as the counter to the Tormented Souls. It's Tormented Sanctification and Sound Barrier are two of the most popular ways to deal with Tormented Souls outside of taking Stitches and gorging him, or a noob and cocooning him. It looks like they want to just try and take that empowerment for Greymane as well, so Tyrael filling in multiple roles there. And of course Genji, super efficient as that backline damage dealer, is going to really put some pressure onto Lunara to try and lower the threat from there.
I'm really curious now, Tetcher, to see, as we see the Anubarak's going to be there, potentially the Cocoon for nice. the Dragon Blade Genji. The thing that, I guess, I don't know if I'm necessarily concerned or not, right? So you're running solo support Ariel, and Greymane is not a great battery. That's just, it's a fact, it's a thing that...
It's an okay one.
It's okay. It's nowhere near great. But I think dealing with the potential dot damage from Lunara going out there, I want to see. You know, you've got two potentially pseudo supports. Tyrael obviously has shielding for his team. You have Block Party potentially for ETC. You have Prog Rock, which if you get the globes, can you get the extra healing for those melee that are going to be around you? I'm really curious to see what direction ETC feels like going with. Will it be the Prog Rock? Will it be the Block Party to try and deal with a lot of those auto attacks coming in and the potential spread damage that might come in later?
Almost certainly going to be Prog Rock, I would say. Like, it's a very minor part of Lunara's kit. Is the actual auto attack part. The poison is a huge part of her kit. So
if you don't hit, though,
the Prog Rock will really help, though. Sorry?
If you don't hit, though.
No, but the block only reduces the damage. You still get the poison. It's not a blind. It's not an evasion.
You block.
You block, and you still get poisoned. You block the spear,
healing.
but the poison goes in. I need healing.
But
Genji,
again, that's the part that scares me the most, is solo Ariel with a Greymane as a battery.
It's weird to say that Greymane is actually the correct hero to target here, even with Ariel behind him, because if Greymane's too low, he's not going to be willing to get poke damage in, which means he's not going to build enough hope for Ariel. Let's see how it works as we load in to game number 2 between RPG and KT.
Game number 2 with RPG up 1-0. Can they get the second? Here's Chicken will be on Tyrael, Wang on ETC, Sa on Ariel, Infinity on the Greymane, and Laktar going to be on Genji.
And on the right-hand side, it is going to be Kudos Top, aka KT, in the red trunks. And it's going to be T-Die on Tassadar, Neptune on Malthael, Genjuo on the Rhaegar, Seeing on the Lunara, and a Butcher is once again bringing out that Anubrak. I was slightly wrong about which way around the tanks are going. It is going to be Chicken on the Tyrael here, which is fair. It's a very aggressive tank if you play it in that way, so it sort of does fit his melee assassin role a little bit better than ETC. There is that proc rock.
Yeah, I like the pickup a lot. I'd like to see an emphasis on making sure that they get globes early so they don't have to necessarily worry about getting into that late, because I think that as the game goes on, with the solo support Ariel, yes, you're committed to the dive with the Tyrael, ETC, Genji, Greymane. You're committed to the dive, but I fear that if you get into sustained team fights around some of these altars, you will lose out on those. So if you don't find your early aggression, you don't find those opportunities early, the composition of Malthael and Lunara could be a big, big problem to deal with.
ETC has missed 2 out of 2 globes. He's had the opportunity to pick up both and has been in the jungle both times. He's rotating so much that he's losing value on his level 1.
And
so far has yet to gain any value from it. That's
just
3. So he's had 3 opportunities to get globes and has missed all of them. Wang plus.
I don't know how I feel about that, Tetcher. Feels awkward.
I don't know either. Okay, he's gotta get this one. Come on. Hit it. Hit the wizard. If he mounts up and leaves now, I'm going to be upset. He mounts up, and he's still hanging around. Go on, Genji, pick it. Okay.
I feel like
EDC got a globe. Hooray. I assume they got it. I assume so. So that is the first stack here. As Greymane gets targeted down here, but able to raise a swipe away.
Instantly hopping in that Worgen form right before stun, allowing him to do that. But we've got our first altar phase, and with no globals, potentially stage dive later, but with no globals, the very bottom altar does make this a point of contention of Rhaegar, Lunara, and Nubrak. They're going to hold the bottom lane. We've seen teams kind of adapt this, but now you potentially lose the top 2 because this is a much easier defense for the team of RPG.
And the first couple shots already going onto the wrong side there for the cameraman. There we go. Finally, they're going to land onto the RPG core. So it's 1 for 1. And there come the second set of shots. A good invade by RPG, able to get a 2 for 1 in this top lane.
They get the 2 for 1. They give up a little bit of bottom control. I've started to go more and more into this. I've been researching this map a lot in terms of where does the value come in. I think the bottom 2 keeps are some of the most impactful. Controlling the bottom lane in particular is probably the best thing in the game. That's why I actually tweeted out, if you're winning this game, it's almost... I feel like getting the boss, unless it's to end the game, is one of the worst things you can do. Controlling the lane and handcuffing a team to not be able to push in and things like that in the bottom lane, controlling the sappers and just keeping a team there, not allowing them to soak, especially if they don't have a global. So I really like when teams are aggressive on the bot lane early. I just want to see what they do with it later.
It is the most basic of strategies at this point in pro play. Dignitas MVP Black, when this map started really jumping up in popularity, it's literally just Fnatic as well, sorry. Just control bot lane. Just grab both bell towers, just farm mercs, have one person who rotates between mid and top to get the XP, and that's it. And then you just dominate until so the opponent cannot leave bot lane if they want to get the objectives, because they'll lose the sappers, so they're basically stuck. It's the minimal of strategy on this map.
It's something that I think is... Fnatic probably runs it the best. The Royal Focus Leoric build, rip in pieces. But
you can still kind of do it. It's just you're missing out on ominous Wraith value.
Yeah. But this is kind of the area where I'm talking about. If you control bottom once, you only have one way to go in and one way out. And you don't have a retreat point if you don't have your bottom bell tower. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing, is even if it's the bottom 2, very rarely will you have a top 2. And at no point will you have a top 1 and then mid-bottom unless it's a 3 altar phase. So controlling the bottom is such a big advantage, I think. So we'll see Butcher just kind of get poked a little bit as the Greymane auto attacks from human form just kind of tickle a little bit.
Beetle. Beetle gets distracted by minions though. Wang trying to zone for his team. Good interrupt by Butcher. Very last moment. Zar getting harassed though. Getting some good energy though. Greymane doing a good job, and Zar's also taking matters into his own hands as they kill Lunara. Zar with that energized cord dealing with that potential lackluster energy generation of Greymane, as they're going to be able to capture this next bottom altar.
And that was the aggression that we want to see, is that if you don't kind of get into that, and Anub'arak is kind of, it's almost counter-synergistic with the Lunara Tassadar. They're not dive heroes, but Malthael is, and Rhaegar will always be that front line. But can you find that synergy at the right time? Because Anub'arak's going to have to play more of the peel, which is why he went Bed of Barbs. I think it's a great pickup for that dive-style composition. But right there, they pushed in, got a little bit aggressive, and RPG's like, thanks, that's the type of fight we're looking for. Got the kill, got the altar.
Yeah. That kind of engage is going to be pretty decent once we hit level 13 for KT, because TAS slows plus that Bed of Barbs slow, which actually is added by that talent, which is going to synergize really well with the unfair advantage of Lunara, as we may see Greymane dead. Disengage is good. Sar is down, though. He is not able to tank through that poison. Good dive.
Nice
good
invade. I like that a lot. I think more teams should do that, but again, there's no team right now that does it better than Fnatic. If you guys want to watch good invade.
I mean, they're kind of like the world champions and stuff, so
really?
That's not too surprising. So
undefeated? Oh, man.
Oh, Infinity. He is in trouble. Disengage! Nope. One last spear for good measure. Wang trying to create some space here, but this bell tower is likely going down. Actually, Genjimo being forced back. ETC with the aggressive play. Level 10 is about to hit for KT here, so this is a really risky for RPG to be pushing forward so far here. But they do back up before that 20 is hit. Sorry, 20 is hit? That level 10 is hit.
I mean, we just transformed like our whole game. Chromie will enter soon. We'll talk about time travel here, but double altars up at the top. Level 10 has been picked up for KT. RPG should be able to pick up 10 in the next. See, like that's actually a moment that if you're KT, you actually don't attack those minions. Because by nature you're going to give them the advantage, and you're sending level 10 over to your opponent. It's a small thing. They would have got it anyways, but ETC was bottom, has stage dive. Time to party.
Ooh. Yep, good idea here, giving themselves a lot more rotational ability. Shots already taken on the right-hand side, and this time it's KT attempting to raid the opponent's side objective. This Bed of Barbs is going to be able to delay for a long time. They've got Storms, they've got Bed of Barbs. They have so many ways to interrupt this.
Here comes the stage dive on the back side. He instantly uses Face Melt. The Cocoon is out instantly, but that's going to be popped. And that is just a weird engage. The Detainment Strike's going to force them away, and Genji's going in for the moment, but he's taken so much damage. Deflect is out. He's looking for an opportunity, but Crystal Aegis already out. Ancestral not able to land onto Lunara, who's going to be the first one down. Locktar, the Deflect not enough as he's going to fall, and it's 1-for-1 trade so far.
With Sag already down, Tormented Souls gets the full duration. Sar is dropped low. Wang is desperately trying to stay alive. Infinity runs through 3 heroes to try and escape. He gets taken out too. Chicken and Wang will be able to survive, but the shots were stolen by KT. Actually, were they? No, they weren't. They actually were taken by RPG sneakily in that fight.
Chicken Wang.
Sneaky chicken.
Engagement was a little bit rough there. I think the stage dive came in. They had a good start. Lunara just being way too aggressive. That's multiple times now Lunara's been picked off with over-aggression. But they were able to turn that fight around.
They were indeed. Also, I think I was wrong. I think it was KT who actually got it. I think I'm being blind because RPG controlled most of the shots otherwise. We're seeing RPG, Wang, back it up. Doesn't want to eat that percentage damage here from the Malthael.
That bot bell tower still has not been cleared.
Yeah, it's got really low health, so it's the fact that RPG are picking up so many of these mercenaries is a really big deal, that they're clearing these up and picking these up, because they want to keep the lane pressured so that their bell tower does not die. It would actually be more ideal for them if it died like right now, so that they could clear it in time for the next objective. As it is right now, it's a really easy position for KT to capitalize on. If they're able to get some kills, they can just grab Mercs and kill the bell tower and push in with the Mercs.
Chicken gonna be in the bush there as the Detainment Strike will push away Anubarak for the time being. It's 13 versus 12. ETC's still in the top lane trying to soak up that XP. We'll see if he kind of plays a similar role as last time to soak the XP, stage dive in when appropriate. But right now, they're doing what they can to soak, and I don't know if they have the tools. They do have a Genji to delay, which is one of the best.
They have Eldrin's Might. They have Cocktail, kind of, without the level 1 talent. It's actually only the level 4 talent, and the extra attack range for Greymane as Tyrael is dropped very low. Good job, Malthael.
He went in and, you know, trying to take advantage of that Eldruins, but he didn't hit anybody with it. So therefore, he had a long time before he could get out of there. I think that was a rough engage there.
And this is exactly what you were concerned about at the very start. Greymane was zoned, everyone else was taking huge damage, and Ariel couldn't heal them because Greymane was zoned. He wasn't doing damage, so Saab wasn't getting any hope, and as such, everyone had to retreat because they were dropped too low. Now we're seeing an attempted invade again. This time we're seeing Loktar in a really good position to try and prevent this from happening. Sank may have to be used, no, Butcher not willing to take the risk.
I think it's good recognition by RPG. Fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. Well, we can't be fooled again.
So the bell tower was taken in the bottom area. Stage dive being used. It does slow Butcher. Good cleanse by Rhaegar here. Genshwell keeping him alive for the moment. Here comes Malthael from above. Tormented Souls could be used. The sanctification is still up, and that's the idea here. Very good patience from Chicken, but they're currently fighting in between a bell tower and the enemy team. Good stun by Anu. Bell tower's up. Damage onto Genji, who will have to dash after this Aegis explodes, and it does. Now the cocoon is popped. Chicken drops the sack straight away. They try to turn it round. They're going to try and get the kills here. Neptune Tormented Souls, though. Huge survivability value. The Dragon Blade not able to finish off the kills. The healing reduction is so good. No one dies, but really nice save by RPG. Oh no, someone did die. Lunar was killed. How'd that happen?
I wasn't 100% sure when that happened. The fact that RPG stayed for so long and that bell tower spawned, the Crystal Aegis was clutch to keep him alive. But the Lunara positioning just feels a bit too aggressive. And I feel that it is compromising a lot of these team fights.
It might be. Also, we've been told that if it is apparently 1-1, there may be another best of 3, because apparently there are 2 teams that get demoted here into relegation.
Interesting.
So Chicken trying to channel here. Neptune not having it. That speed boost he took at level 1 allowing him to move in. Shots were taken on the other side though. Genji trying to get some more trying to get even more shots. Big fight in this area. Loktar trying to put some pressure onto T-Dye to stop him shielding the Lunara here. Chicken is dropping so low, but the shields are good. Sank is still 20 seconds away. Go for the throw, just came off cooldown though. Wang dropping low. Chicken getting poisoned. He will get Aegis. That might save him. There we go, clutch heals. So they're all able to survive, but all of these shots are going to be taken by KT. Bot Beltar still alive. That's a full 10 shots.
That is a lot of shots, and that's one way to get yourself back in the game after being down early. KT back in this. Experience about the same. If we get a 1-1, then we get the best of 3. That is...
I believe so, because they'll be both tied in 7th.
Yeah.
That's what the production chat said anyway. So I assume that is how it works. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure we'll be informed. I'll keep an eye on that chat. Another invade coming in from KT. Good cocoon. A little start there. Camp is stolen thanks to that cocoon. And there we go. Chicken finally popped out. Sank is once again available. It was actually interrupted during the wind-up of Sanctification. So the Sank 10-second cooldown did actually tick all the way down while he was in the cocoon there.
That's almost a blessing in disguise. Maybe they could have taken that fight, but the fact that they now have it potentially going forward, the Sappers moving their way dangerously close to that line. They're almost escorted. They don't have a very good defense here.
So if he uses Sank here, they go in. It's actually a really tough start. Okay, they got killed. Good job. Good clear. Very nearly everyone dying, but that was good. And that was a rough situation where they could not use Sank. We've seen what happens if you do try that before from Team Dignitas, where if you Sank on that line, you become intangible, and the Sappers just walk past you and go for the core.
Yeah, they won't attack you because they can't.
Exactly, so they just skip you. And we've seen that once before, and it actually lost them a game. Not ideal, but there is a precedent set for it. We know how it works.
The dive in, as they don't have minions there, Interior eating... He just hearth and came back. He was forced to use a whole bunch of cooldowns on his regular abilities, so he sits at 70% mana, about 40% health, which causes him to hearth again. And this is the part I was talking about, Tetcher. If you can hold this bottom area, now you have double altars bottom and mid, which means that you are handicapped. You cannot contest the bottom, and your only retreat point is basically through top part, as we see Genji has fallen, or the retreat point right there in that choke, and that is a dangerous spot. And KT is just taking a firm grasp on this game.
They're looking to make this a 1-1, sending us to that potential tiebreaker we were just talking about. Another 5 shots. Bot Bell Tower still in favor of KT. 10 more shots going onto the core, bringing down to 8 health. Sanctification having to be used here. Ariel does get out.
Was that really necessary?
Like, Ariel was in trouble. It's still a long cooldown to burn, though. I agree with that.
The ETC. I have not seen ETC in a while here, and I think this is getting to be an area where, as Sa getting leaping striked upon.
Speak of the devil, Wang comes in. They're going to try and get Butcher, but Ancestral dropped in advance, and Butcher stays alive. We see the cocoon used onto Locktar there. He is in serious trouble. Sorry, that is Infinity. Locktar being forced to jump back with the Dragon Blade, taking so much poison. Even Deflect doesn't protect you. Aegis might. Where's the heal? He dashes away. He's still alive. They're all surviving so far. Infinity dropping so much poison. Same with Sa. The poison takes him out. Infinity as well. It's going to be so sad. Bye, Infinity.
You think he misses that bursting light at level 7?
Just a bit. So sad here. As we do see KT going for the boss here. They're going to drop the core health down to 4. I would have preferred them maybe to do Mercs, but this is kind of free at this point.
It gives you 1 altar kill potential. This is one of those moments. And again, I think that the thing is that if we... Wait a minute. Have we had our second? Yeah. Okay. So if it ends up being like bottom single altar, you now have a point of contention to where RPG can still be in the game. And I think that's one of the things is that if you don't give them the opportunity to defend, or they're forced to defend with a keep at their back, then it's much more of an issue. But then you get this situation to where it's double altar top, and if you zone them out, then all you got to do is capture 1.
Yeah, and this is looking really, really rough. It is double altar top, like you said. All they have to do is to get 1. This has to be an all-in fight by RPG, and they have to not get juked with anyone sneaking to their altar on the other side. They are grouped, except for ETC, who has that stage dive. Last ditch effort. Locktar's actually going to try and channel, so they don't have to worry about that backdoor attempt. Neptune gets cocktailed. It's a start. Eldarins is here. They're going to have to dive this because the Eldarin, they need to get in range. Holy Ground is there. They dive in. Stage dive coming in. They were able to channel the first sense. They don't have to worry about it, at least for now. They're dropping solo from the poison. They're being attacked from 2 angles. The good close in here. But Neptune has to be cleansed Ancestral, and that might be the death of Wag. He needs to get in range of the Sanctification, but no Sack because Tyrael is in the Aegis. Sack is finally dropped. They're trying to turn it round. Infinity's so low. The healing from Ariel trying desperately to keep him alive, but this is going to be a massacre in favor of KT. It's a 5-for-1. They're going to channel, and that's going to be GG, and KT even up the map with a 1-1.
Any bit of sustained team fights, Tetcher, that was just a prime example of where if you don't hard engage early, you're going to struggle and you get outpoked, and by the time you look to engage, somebody on your team is probably sitting at half health, somebody's probably split, and you got all kinds of issues. And that is where I was afraid of, is that if you don't dive, and using Greymane as your only form of hope generator is not good, especially when he's stuck in ranged form, because he doesn't do that much damage. And I think, to me, I saw it in the draft, I see it in the game, and it didn't look good. Green screen effect.
Green screen effect, indeed.
The sun's coming out, so it's peeking through my curtains. There we go.
Oh, dear. But yes, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is a 1-1. That brings both teams up to 12 points, tied in second to last place. I have left a message in the chat, so we will find out how that is going to be resolved, as it does look like two teams are relegated here. So for now, though, both teams left. There's a good chance that we will end up seeing at least SPT versus CE first.
Wow.
Okay, so we've been informed KT and RPG will add a best of 3. The lose will be relegated. It's been asked when it will be played. But on the end, it could start encroaching into Open Division time, and I may have to ditch you for it.
Solo.
Solo. Man solo. I'm sorry if it is. Well, that is the current scenario that we are aware of. Yeah, China, I believe it has a sort of Crucible, but it's not casted in English, and we don't know a huge amount about it. It's really hard to find information on it, because it's all in Chinese. And none of us speak that here at the English production team.
Just use Google Translate for the entire thing.
Yeah, because that's worked so well today. Okay, it's not going to be played live. So there we go. That's what we know. So unfortunately, we will not be able to bring you the tiebreaker between KT and RPG. However, we will have one more series for the day, and it is going to be the number 1 seed, already qualified for BlizzCon, Super Perfect Team, versus the number 2 seed, already qualified for BlizzCon, in the form of Challenge CE. That'll be coming up after the stats and the MVP.
I wonder how hard they'll go. I mean, you got
gonna...
a month out till opening week, so just have a little bit of fun or go hard.
Last time this happened, where SPT were in a situation where it was the final day and their match did not matter at all, they picked Gazlo. So that's the last time that happened. I'm hoping we'll see something like that again. I
hope we get Butcher.
It would mean that, according to China, Butcher more than Rexar. Look, in this case, already Raider
somebody out there
Gazlo more than Rexar.
If somebody's out there, somebody throw a message over to China, whisper, tweet, DM, whatever it is you got to do. Tell them we need Butcher.
But now, though, we see the final stats. RPG, we pointed out the flaw in their draft, and it turned out to be exactly that. The amount of energy was not enough to deal with the amount of poison damage they were dealing with. Grayman was not a good enough hope generator. The Tyrael and the ETC were not enough to make up for it, and as such, they did end up falling. A decent attempt by RPG, but KT with an outdraft and an outplay.
It's amazing how different those games were, because RPG dominated game 1, and KT just dominated game 2.
Told you. This is China. RPG are like that. They can look like the best team in the world, or they can look like they deserve to be an open division.
I don't even know what to make of it. Who's our MVP?
Neptune.
That's fair.
I'd say it's very well
kind
deserved.
of wrecked everything.
He's got the mouth ill pose going on.
He has. He's matched it. Well played. Also, I'd like to point out, every time I see it, I still point out that is Maiev hiding inside Malthael's code.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
No stealthy. Do you not know Maiev?
He's a wow person. I've actually just been.
She, for starters.
Huh?
She, for starters, not he.
She, yeah, that's what I said.
Maiev.
I just left out a letter.
Well played. I like it.
Zelux knows what's up in chat, man. 3 support with Stim Drone Butcher. You know there's no way that loses, right?
I can't argue with it. All the Chinese casters got the predictions correct. Everyone going for that 1-1 prediction. Very well done. Our current leaders appears to be... crap, what was his name? I think that's Big Guts there. Or is Big Guts the one on the end? I can't remember all their names very well.
Gonna have to work on
it, unfortunately. Yeah, we're working on it. Hopefully I'll have them memorized by next season. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the RPG KT matchup. And the last match of the day, we have our entire standing sorted, basically, except for 6th and 7th position. It's SPT first, Challenge second, Beyond the Game third. All there will be going to BlizzCon. The one finishing in a solid 4th place, Soa in a 5th place position. And then there's RPG and KT tied in 6th to 7th. Hot's Lady guaranteed for that relegation spot to play for their life in HGC in last place.
Well, we've got the interview going on now. This generally leads into the replay, so if you haven't been here earlier, we get a replay or 2 or 3. Last time we had a little bit longer of an interview, so we just kind of sat here and casually, silently watched people conversing.
Yeah, so shall we jump to a break and just leave this screen on so people can see the interview even though there is no sound for it, and they can see the replay when it happens?
Let me get my... We are on a break. Be back soon. All right, we're going to take a quick break so you guys can come back. Again, the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed, as Tetcher pointed out. Both teams have already qualified for BlizzCon. They might try hard. They might surprise us with China drafts.
Craziness.
We'll find out soon. We're going to take a break. We'll be back, team.